I just realized my mic was turned off. This entire time. My mic was turned off. That is, oh my gosh. I've been talking for the past, 10 minutes? And you guys have not heard a single word. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Oh my gosh. I was explaining the rules. I was reading I was reading what we wrote so far. Oh my gosh. Oh, mistakes were made. Oh my gosh. But what you missed when I was talking, I was trying to talk, was I was wondering why you guys weren't talking in the chat. Interesting. But so like I was saying, I am Christy the Best. I do script writing streams where I go and I talk about my adaptation of Deathnote. And also it's a collaborative effort. So if you have any headcanons or any insights or anything you want to add to the story that you think would help with the story that doesn't go against the existing canon of the story, we could definitely do it. Those who add headcanons, they will be credited appropriately, and they will have credits on these projects. I will write your names. On top of that, if you are a Hollywood producer and you want to go and produce this, because I don't see why not. We're a great community over here, having a fun time going and writing scripts. But if you are a Hollywood producer out there that wants to, listen to your audience for once, I know you've done it before. You can go and watch one of our streams and maybe give us credits. Maybe adapt the screenplay, help us with optioning the story. I wouldn't mind if we did that, and then we can go and everyone can get paid for what they contributed to the script. I do believe that people should be paid accordingly, even though they may have added small details, in my opinion. But I digress. So yeah, last time we were working on Light's daily routine. So what does a good day for Light look like on an average day, right? What does a good day look like? On top of that, while we're showing him having a little too good of a day, we're also trying to have Ryuk stalking Light as he's crossing sidewalks, as he's coming into his schoolyard, everything like that. And we're trying to foreshadow hints to what has Light been doing for the past 5 days. Because script writing wise, I'm not allowed to write 5 days later. 5 days later is a cop out. We don't do it in script writing. It's very frowned upon. Because if you do that, you're basically there are more interesting ways to go about it other than writing on screen 5 days later. There are better ways that you could do it. And also in scripts, you're not supposed to acknowledge time in any way, because it actually can mess up with how the timing of the script can go. So that is part of the thing. But yeah, so I'm going to read what we did last time, because obviously you guys didn't hear a single word that I said the first time when I did this, because I muted my mic. But let's get into this. Okay. Interior Light's kitchen dawn. Light walks down the stairs and walks towards the dining table. Sayu, preteen, wearing a middle school uniform, is sitting at the table across from Light. Light pulls out a chair and sits on it. Nice Spanish. Light, were you able to get a handle on those problems? Sayu, yeah, they were fine. The ones you showed me really helped. Sayuko, Yagami, early 40s, wearing a sweater and capris, walks to the table holding a plate of food. She sets the food down in front of Light and pulls out a chair. She sits on the chair and grabs the handle of the mug filled with a hot beverage. Sayuko, your father has a new case, so he had to head out early. Light, it's fine. I'll leave her when she gets on, and I should be there in time. Sayu, so you're going to drop me like a sack of potatoes? Light, yep. Let's go now before you miss the train. Exterior Light's house day. Sayu and Light wave to Sayuko, standing on the front porch. They walk down the street. Exterior city day. Light and Sayu walk beside each other down the sidewalk. They walk past a store with a news reporter on the screen next to a picture of prison bars with the text over it saying "Death Behind Bars." Interior train station day. Light stands on a platform waving to Sayu. Sayu is waving from inside the train car. Exterior city day. Light walks down the sidewalk and stops at a street crossing. He looks around and behind him with a confused look. The crossing light changes. Light walks forward. Behind him, a giant creature sits on top of a telephone pole. Exterior schoolyard day. Light and the other students walk through the gate of the school. Ryuk sits on the roof of the school. And interior classroom day. Miss Smith, late 30s, wearing a button-down shirt, Chrise, stands at the board with English sentences written on it. Miss Smith, good job, Byakume. You made a lot of improvement. Light, it's recently gotten interesting. Alright, so that's what we wrote last time. We didn't really go into detail with the classroom because I couldn't come up with at the time what Light should be saying. Not Light should be saying, but what the teacher should be teaching, like in terms of English sentences. I was like trying to figure out how advanced the sentences should be, in a sense. How far should it be, but also how toned down should I go, right? I was trying to figure that out for myself. I was also so I was trying to figure that out. The other thing I also heard, I had an input from someone in the comment section of YouTube, and they said they pointed out that this sentence is a little messed up. Little messed up. I'm not gonna change mix match. I know you said that it was supposed to be mismatch, but I'm not gonna change it because this feels more right. Mix match feels more like kind of a vibe of like a checkerboard, right? If you're doing mix match hides, whereas mismatch, which is the way you're supposed to write it, feels more for like if you had the wrong socks, right? You have two different colored socks, if you know what I mean. But I do acknowledge that I did read your letter in the comment section. And I do mean letter. And I also noticed this is a little more glaring. I put one player wears a skull should be what I should have wrote. Wears a skull of a bear while a mixed match of different animal hides adorn its body. I knew something was wrong with the sentence, but I did not know. But yeah. So fixing that. And you were right on the money. You did ask what you were wondering why I put 1 minute and 30 seconds when I did say that you're not supposed to include time, and that was because that was a note for me because I still have to flesh out this piece a little bit better of just the title sequence alone, because I have to work on this because my ankle. I have to flesh this out a bit because I actually don't write what the Japanese reporter is supposed to say. And in the case of like what I wrote right now, where I read right now, where like it's a Japanese reporter on screen, but it's in a shop. You could have like, you don't have to write it because technically you wouldn't be able to hear it from outside the store, right? Whereas like with this case, it's literally right next to him and we're in the room. So I do see how that can be messed up. So I'll go, I'm definitely going to fix that too. See how many of you, good amount, of people. And so, yeah, so what we're going to do is, let me fix this first. So I'm going to put Japanese reporter, so there have been a rise in deaths as the Kira is as the identity, as the identity of Kira has remained anonymous. Has remained anonymous. Anonymous. I know I probably misspelled anonymous, but I tried. Identity. Identify. Not identify. Identity. Oh, it was supposed to be 2 T's. Fine. Okay. Of criminal offenders. Ow, my ankle. For those of you who are wondering why I'm complaining about my ankle, I fell. I felt bad. Like, think the most embarrassing way to fall, it happened. I was basically, I was picking up one of my siblings, and from and what happened was, I walked my sister, to school, and what happens is that my sister's school has a ton of tree roots, and you can probably figure out where I'm going with this. It has a ton of tree roots, and what happens is that I'm fine walking there. I'm fine. I walk all the way and pick her up, and then on the way back, and my ankle goes sideways and betrays me, and I literally fall face first into the dirt. I fell so hard that I had 7 different teachers concerned for my well-being. I had even the police officer that is on duty helping with facilitate these kids leaving the school was like, should I call you an ambulance? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I think I just sprained it, it's not that bad, and the thing is that it hurts. I did sprain it really bad. But, and what happens is that, like, I'm, so, because it feels so bad, I'm, like, sitting on the floor, because I can't stand up right now. I have to build adrenaline. I have to let the adrenaline wash over me, and then I can go. So, the worst part is that my family, usually I have always someone at the house. But in this one case scenario, everyone was out somewhere, and they weren't just close. They were literally like hours away. And so there's no one who can pick me up on the side of on the side of the road and like take me back there. So I still have to walk home on this sprained ankle. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have, like, my ankle is bad. And and the thing is, I felt really bad. Like, it was, not only were the 7 people very concerned, but when the leaves around you just whoosh into the air dramatically, and you have leaves in your hair, it's kind of a bad day. It's kind of bad. But yeah, the principal, like, didn't even, like, the principal was like, was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine, it's fine, I'll be able to walk over, I think I'll be fine, I'll be able to walk home. And so she's like, someone get a ice pack stat right now, get it out to the front. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have accidentally, like, I talked with my family later, and it was like, it felt like I had just died, and they were just like reading me my last respects there, and like laying out the caution tape. It was bad. It was so bad. And so yeah, they got me the ice pack. My leg, like, the adrenaline had finally washed over me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be able to walk home, because I still have to walk like a while, like a long while. And so I walked on this sprained ankle all the way home. And it sucked. So I've been icing my ankle all day. And like that would probably be fine if like I didn't, have work tomorrow. And on top of that, usually I would be posting videos to YouTube, but YouTube for some reason has decided to like stop working. So I can't even post videos right now because every single time I post videos all today, it says start processing and then it stays at 0 the entire time. Doesn't even like go up a single percentage or is slow. It literally doesn't change. And I'm like, damn. My day, I have a feeling today's just a bad luck day. It's just a bad luck day, and it's just, the universe is just preparing me for a good luck day that will be coming soon. But, sometimes we have some of those days, and some of those days are just like, oh gosh, you're just, you're just gonna not have a good day. And you gotta, try your best, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes your best doesn't work out. So, okay, criminal offenders, deaths of criminal offenders. These are the moments where I'm like, I don't. I'm terrible at spelling. And like I suck at spelling. I've tried, but my brain don't work well. There's been a rise of deaths in the deaths of criminal offenders and and sexual predators have been on the rise. And then get rid of this. And now it reads, the deaths of criminal offenders and sexual predators have been on the rise as the identity of Chrise still remains anonymous. So that's good. So that helps. Let me see. It's still less than a minute long. Okay. Talking about mass murder. And I'm right now gotta change stands next to. Actually, wouldn't it be cooler? I actually came up with a cool idea for like the title sequence. That every single time, right? Every single time the every single time there's an episode, right? Wouldn't it be interesting that like the headline that the reporter is talking about on screen changes every episode to reflect how to give a hint on where in the story are we at? I think it would be kind of cool. So like the opening title sequence, right? Every episode, like we have like every episode there's going to be a headline of some sort, right? Where even if it's not in the episode, it could be a reporter reporting upon like the other countries that are going in, looking at Kira and possibly looking into helping Japan resolve the matter, and stuff like that. So like basically like coming up with like we would be like every episode there would be a new headline, and even if there is not a reporter in the episode in some way where they're reporting or anything, it could give hints on details And it also works, and I think it actually is interesting because it also works because then we can make it to that makes the title sequence that this is just light when he is away writing stuff with Ryuk, right? Like this would be like that. I think that would be oh my gosh, that would be such a cool idea. Oh my gosh, I just came up with a cool idea that I like. So I think what we're gonna do is for this episode, because we're kind of hinting towards like the police are starting to get involved. Not the police are starting to get involved, but I think that we're gonna do here is Death Behind Bars. I'm gonna steal this format, but I think she's gonna come on a second. I think she should come on a second time. And in the second time, she's got to be like talking about like oh like she says rise and stuff like that of Kira on forums chat forums they dubbing the killer for Kira so I think for now I'm gonna leave it, but like I think that this one's definitely one that we're gonna do. Just as probably for the next episode, or maybe reflects later in the episode. So I'm gonna leave it alone, but we kind of got the idea. I'm gonna get rid of this part because until I am able to get there, I'm not gonna do anything with that. We hear a creepy smile. Ryuk, creepily, Billy, there. Creepily smiles from the dark. We hear a chuckle. Yes. And a bed covered with comforter. Yada 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 yada. Okay, so that's all good. So we have about maybe a minute of title sequence. Let's see. What else are we fixing? But yeah. So some of you have been wondering why I some of you that are my long time Deathnote like worker bees in a sense. Us working on the script or cinephiles. I don't know what I'm calling you guys. You guys come up with it. It would be nice. So like some of you are probably wondering why have I moved over to just chatting? And I figured since a lot of our discussions turn into just chatting sessions anyways, I was like, why don't I open up the floor to some more people who like they probably want writing advice, they probably want like to talk about their ideas, and I was like, this turns into just chatting anyways, so why don't we just, do that, right? And also we talk about like how the channel's going and all the nice spicy stuff. Yes. So let's see. What pages can we transfer? We transfer over. I looked at the pages ahead, but nothing's giving me any joy. You know how you kind of Marie Kondo is like, hold on to the things that spark joy or stuff like that. Like in this case, it's none of this is like kind of sparking joy. In my opinion. So kind of hard. But yeah, so none of it's sparking joy. So I'm trying to figure out what can I make it do. Like, what can I do to fix this? Okay. Okay. Um, late 30s, button down, stands next to the board. I'm trying to. So, what should prompt her to say this? Um, let's see. What should prompt her to say this? Let's say the bell rings, right? We can do the bell rings or. Ooh, actually. What if she's like walking down the line, right? Of like all of the desks and she's handing out like their test scores on their last like English exams or stuff like that. And she gets to Yagami and that's what she says. I think that would work better. Oh yes, let's do that. Let's do that. Cuz I'm going off of it that the fact that she's like she's most likely like American or European or something. So like she's used to Western ways of teaching. So that's what I'm thinking here. So let's see. No, I'm clicking backspace instead of clicking the enter button. That's what I was looking for. Jeez, my brain's my brain is like kind of tired a bit, but we're trying. So let's see. Miss Smith, late 30s, wearing button-down capris, and that stands at the board. Miss. Okay, I'll be passing out the. I think she says, I'm like viewing in my brain. She says, I'll be passing out. Your scores. Your tests from last week. Please I have like an eyelash in my eye and I can't get it out. And it's so annoying. Eesh. Okay. I'll be passing out your tests from last week. Please look them over. Look them over and tell me. And no, not tell me. Look them over to see areas you need to fix. See the areas you need to study more on. Okay. Let's see. Study more on. So let's say I think that Light should have a friend that sits behind him. The reason why I say this is that I think that Light should like see like his friend should like pull his attention and be like, what do you think you're gonna get, right? And then after he pulls his attention to be like, oh, what do you think you're gonna get? Like Light starts talking to him and then he like glances off. He notices something on the building, but he can't make it out. And then the teacher, when he's trying to like squint to like see what it is, his teacher taps him on the shoulder and says it. Right? Like I think that would be something interesting because like it's like, oh, Ryuk's getting closer. Ryuk's slowly getting closer. He's not close enough for Light to see, but he's definitely close enough to where Ryuk could see Light very clearly. you know? So I would have it like the creatures staring at him, you know? Because the reason why I'm using the verbiage creature and not Ryuk is that creature makes it seem like you can't make out what it is. You know what I mean? Like when you say creature, it gives you the hint that it's something blurry off in the distance, right? Whereas if it's something like, if I say Ryuk, it's very clear. So it doesn't give like if the audience is not supposed to be able to, it's supposed to like kind of hint at Ryuk, it being Ryuk. But if the audience can't really tell, like it could be anything. And I'm also trying to play off of the idea of like the Grim Reaper and how it creeps closer and closer and closer until like death is upon the person. That's the idea that I'm doing right now. So let's see. Let me see. What should his friend's name be? It has to be something. Names. I'm looking this up in Japanese. Oh, you want? Oh, this is funny. Oh, this is funny. We can call him Bito. His name would be Bito because Bito means in Japanese, in kanji, the name, it means forgotten one. And what would be a hilarious joke is that Light kind of gets rid of his friends. Like, he forgets to hang out with them for some reason. And so, like, after this episode, after an episode or two, he would become the forgotten one. And in a sense, it would actually be hilarious of a joke. Oh my gosh. Oh, I really want to call him Bito. No, I really want to call him Bito. Oh my gosh, let's call him Bito. Okay, so Bito. So we're calling him Bito now. I know that's not how it's supposed to be spelled in Japanese. I know. I know it's not how it's supposed to be spelled in Japanese. But since it's I'm writing it for English right now until I can find a translator that can translate it to Japanese. If it was a case where I got to adapt this, I would want to translate this to Japanese and have it in English so that way we would film it in both languages, because that would make the most amount of sense. You would have like the English dub, the Japanese dub, and then the true dub, right? Where like you would have like them speaking fully in Japanese, them speaking the scene fully in English, and then them speaking both, which will be done in editing. It would be done in editing, and the reason why I would want them to do both is I would think it would be very funny if the first thing that comes out of Ryuk's mouth is a phrase in English, because since this would be the first time of him going down to earth, right? Wouldn't it be kind of funny, since the Death Note is canonically written in English, because the reason that Ryuk gives in the anime and gives in the books is that that's the most common language. And so because that is the most common language of the land, of the earth, from it, I would find it hilarious that Ryuk speaks English, right? And then, like, Light freaks out, obviously, because he freaks out because, like, a demon god is a death god's in his house. And so he's like, oh, no, I'm speaking the wrong language. And it would be so funny that he's like, try to switch to the second most common language, but the second most common language, I would say, would be, what was it? I think Spanish would be the second most common language at that time. I think. And then Spanish doesn't do it for him, and then, like, finally speaks in Japanese, is like, oh, you speak Japanese. Okay. Like that would be a funny interaction in a sense. Um, it would be the funniest interaction. And also it would be a perfect interaction because it would highlight how much death gods actually know about humanity when they're not in the human realm. Like, how much do they really know? And I think that would be kind of hilarious. That he's like, oh, he doesn't actually know where he is, and he also doesn't like he doesn't quite get like the whole thing in a sense. I think that would be kind of hilarious in a sense. Um, I see that interactions right now in my brain. You know what? I'm gonna write the cliff notes of the scene, and then I'm gonna cut to that scene. I'm gonna write that scene because um the best thing to do when you're doing writing or anything like that, if you have trouble with like a scene or anything like that, the best thing to do is actually just write the scene that is the most clear in your head. And right now the scene that's most clear in my head is that scene with Ryuk and Light when they're meeting for the first time. And I think that would actually be kind of hilarious. So I'm just going to write the Cliff Notes version of this. I'll fix it later. A hand taps Light's shoulder. A hand taps Light's shoulder. Light turns around. Behind him. Around. To look at Bito. Late teens, wearing a high school uniform. A hand taps Light's shoulder. Light turns around to look at Bito. Late teens, wearing a high school uniform. Bito. Let's see. Bito. I'm gonna put what you think you got, but because I can't come up with anything on the spot right now. Do you think you got? What do you think you got? Light. What do you think you got? Light. Output, I've been really studying. So that, cutting off his speech. And then put action. Light looks out the window at a creature that is perched on the roof of the building. Light squints his eyes. A hand taps his shoulder. There you go. And then he turns around and there. Okay. Miss Smith walks towards Vito. Towards Vito. Light turns around to look out the window. The creature is gone. All right, so we're gonna jump ahead because right now I can't conceive of what comes next, so I'm just gonna jump ahead so that way we can get going with it, and do the scene that is most clear in my head. And so let's go to our pages. Let me see, what page is him meeting Light? He said, if you guys are wondering what page I'm on in the book, so that way you can look in your book or panels, I'm on page 15. And I'm on page 15 in the manga. Now, you guys can look on Viz. I believe on Viz they have the panels, if I remember correctly. They should have the panels for you guys to like look at them. So if you want, you guys can look at the panels and see it and everything like that. But for those of you who have the Death Notebook, because I know there's probably some people that do, please turn to page 15, where for those of you who would be looking from panels, and I don't know if you would have, I don't remember if you would have like the page numbers. It would be the part where it says where Death basically Light closes the door on his room, and he turns on the TV, he turns on his computer, and then he opens his drawer and he picks up the Death Note, and then Ryuk scares him by saying, "You seem to like it." You know, my eyes are like, Let me take a second to drink water. So I'm gonna take a second to drink water because like my eyes, you know how they say after every hour to like go and like look at something for a couple minutes that is not like a far away from you. I'm gonna take a minute, like I'm gonna put on my moment later screen, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, is that all right, you guys? Okay. All right, we're back in Celtics. All right, so we're gonna write. Okay. Get my glasses back on. I think I'm only going to be filming this for till like 12. The reason why I'm probably gonna stop this at 12 is because right now, like I said before, I have work in the morning, like early in the morning, and this is part of the reason why I don't do Thursdays. I don't like to film on Thursdays because since I have work, sometimes in the morning, it could be a problem because then I then can't go as long streaming wise. So, but we're gonna make the most of the last 3 minutes of the stream. So, let's do this. Let's do it. All right. So let's do this. So let's write the scene. We're skipping over him talking with his friends and stuff like that. Because right now, we're gonna write the scene that's more clear in my head. So we're gonna go scene heading. Jeez, book move. Interior. Lights. Bedroom. Day. The door opens. And light walks through. He closes the door. He closes the door in. He closes the door in. He closes the door behind him. Behind him. He closes the door behind him. And sighs. And sighs. He walks over to the to his desk. He walks over to his desk. He picks up a TV remote and turns on the TV. Turns on the TV to the news. He puts down the remote and reaches over to the chain on the desk lamp. The chain on the desk lamp. To the desk lamp's chain. The light comes on, turns on as light pulls the desk drawer open, and he puts down the remote, reaches over to the desk lamp's chain. Light turns on as light pulls the desk drawer open and picks up the Deathnote. The Deathnote. And okay. You seem to like it. See, that's the next line. No, I creased the page. No. You seem to like it. You like it. You seem to like it. That. Miles. Light smiles. Smiles. You like it. Ow! Smiles. Ryuk. O-S. For those of you who didn't hear the last time I talked about this, my last stream, I'm writing what OS stands for is off screen. So whenever a character is off screen, we write OS because that's saying that, oh yes, we don't see him on screen, but he is in the room. You've taken a liking to it. You taken a liking to it. You've taken a liking to it. And then off screen, but okay. I'm on page 16. This is where Light is screaming. Why are you so surprised to see me? I'm Ryuk, the Shinigami who dropped the notebook. The way you were acting just now, I can tell you're a Shinigami? A death god. Okay, let's see. Oh, my eyes. So, next one should be an action because he's gonna, Light turns quickly around. Quickly turns around. Quickly turns around and screams. Ryuk stands in front. Stands in front of him. Ryuk stands in front of him and stands in front of him. And Ryuk, and then he says, you must not understand me. You must not understand me. Mucho gusto. Me llamo Ryuk. Ryuk. Serio. Off screen. Light, are you all right? All right. Are you all right? Okay, so yeah. So I'm writing it where he says, basically I'm trying to make it to where Ryuk tries to speak in this, you must not understand me. And he says the second most prevalent language that was at the time, which I think was Spanish. So he says, mucho gusto, mi amo Ryuk. Ryuk. Mi amo Ryuk. Yo soy Dios muerto. Yo soy adiós de muerto. So basically he's saying, pleased to meet you. My name is Ryuk. I am a god of death, basically. He's saying that, but all in Spanish. This is the one moment where I'm able to shine. My Spanish can shine. Oh my gosh, I have been working so hard at my Spanish classes just for this shit. So I can say my own language. Hilariously. Oh my gosh. I've worked all the way just to say, mucho gusto, mi amo Ryuk, yo soy adiós de muerto. Just to say that. Hilariously. Okay, so, like, are you all right? And we're gonna put dash. and Ryuk. No, like parentheticals back in Japanese. Back in Japanese. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just saw a spider. Oh, I had my goal for today! Yay! Okay. That's good. Page a pretty good amount. I'm fine, just saw a spider. Ryuk. Oh, you speak in Japanese. Oh. You speak in Japanese. Oh, you speak in Japanese. Oh, you speak in Japanese. Yeah. The reason why I have a feeling that the reason why I'm writing like this is that I believe Death God should have, like, they should know every language. Like, I don't see a reason why Ryuk can't know every language. Because they write it in English, so it's established they know at least English. So, like, I don't see a reason why there can't be more languages that they know. So, like, in my version of Deathnote, I don't know if this is this is starting to morph into my version of Deathnote instead of the creators, in a sense. But basically, I see Grim Reaper, Ryuk, and all that. They're all Shinagamis. Shinagamis are all death gods. Shinigami, Grim Reaper, what have you. They're all the same, in a sense, right? That can like fix the divide in sense. And so it makes sense. You're like, oh, you see a Shinigami before you, like, the Grim Reaper before you die, in a sense. And that, I wouldn't say that's, you see death before you die, or something like that, some people say. And I could see that being a thing, especially, like, with, like, I think murderers, they say that about murderers, like, they see death before they die. I don't know. But I see that, right? Shinigami. So you speak in Japanese. You speak in Japanese. Hi, I'm Ryuk. I'm a Hi, I'm Ryuk. The Shinigami of that notebook. The Shinigami of that notebook. Okay. I've got 10 more minutes and then I got to go. Okay. So let's see. He says, I'm not surprised to see you, Ryuk. In fact, I've been waiting for you. Really? Gee, a personal visit from a Shinigami. Very kind. Not that I doubt this Death Note book would, but seeing things with my own eye, this lets me act with greater certainty. Plus, there's some things I want to ask you. Huh. I've been waiting. Light. I think he would say something like, "You took long enough," or like, "What took you so long?" And like catches just like how Ryuk catches Light off guard. Um, Ryuk is caught off guard by Light saying that. Um, what took you so long? What took you so long? What took you so long? Ryuk. You were expecting me? Ding. Me? You were expecting me? And then Light. All right, I'm back. I hate when I have to get up because of my ankle. Ugh. It's a pain because like walking from one side of the house to the other and then on it, her ankle is just like, oh, just feels terrible. I hate it. It was bad. Okay, so let's do 10 more minutes of this and then we're out of here. So let's do this. Okay, so let's see. Light, right? Light. So what were you were expecting me? Um, um, and then I'll put, not that I doubt this was a Death God's notebook, but seeing that you with my own, lets me act with greater certainty. Okay, so not that I doubted. I wanted to be. All right. And then I wanted to be sure. I doubted the book. I doubted. I could say not that I doubted. I wasn't sure if it. I wasn't sure. Sure. If it was real. I wasn't sure if it was real. I wasn't sure if it was real. With certainty. Certainty. I wasn't sure if it was real with full certainty. Especially after certainty. But you've confirmed it for me. I have some questions. I wasn't sure if it was real with full certainty, but with a death god right in front of me. In front of me. I wasn't sure if it was real. It was real with full certainty, but with a death god right in front of me, I have some questions for you. Have some questions. I have some questions for you. So I wasn't sure if it was real with full certainty, but with a death god right in front of me, I have some questions for you. Okay, he opens the book. Wow, amazing. Gotta say, the one who's surprised. I've heard of a Death Note getting down to the human world a few times before, but no one's ever done this many just in 5 days. Most people would be too scared. In front of me. I wasn't sure if it was real with full certainty, but with a death god right in front of me, am I gonna be wasn't sure if it was real with full certainty, but with a death god right in front of me, I must ask. Will I be punished? How will you punish me? You punish me. How will you punish me? That sounds better. I wasn't sure if it was real with full certainty, but with a death god right in front of me, I must ask, how will you punish me? Ooh. This is getting into masochist territory, and very interestingly. Okay. All right. So let's see. How you punished me. And light hands. Light gives the Death Note to Ryuk. Ryuk grabs it and opens it up. And enter parentheticals excitedly shocked. Excitedly shocked. And then I've heard of Death Notes getting down to the human realm a few times before, but not one's done this many. No one's done this many, but no one has done this many in just 5 days. In just 5 days. Most are too scared. I've heard of Death Notes getting down to the human realm a few times before, but no one's done this many in just 5 days. Most are too scared. Most are too scared. Most are too scared. And then light I'm going to skip over him saying what happens now. Because I kind of, by saying, I must ask how you'll punish me, basically kind of does it. And then he's going to say, ready for anything, Ryuk. I'm ready for anything. I used the notebook knowing it belonged to a Shinigami. And now I'm ready. Is this some fantasy you humans came up with? I'm not going to do anything to you. What? Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. 5 days. That punch me. I am ready for anything. I'm ready for anything. For anything. I used it knowing it belonged to a Shinigami. It belonged to a Shinigami. I'm ready for anything. I used it knowing it will. Got Shinaga. And then Ryuk. Is this some fantasy Is this a bit? Is this a bit that you humans do? Is this a bit you humans do? Character. Like what? 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 Ryuk. Nothing's gonna happen to you. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm not going to do anything to you. Okay. To you. A Deathnote belongs to the human realm. When it belongs to the human realm. Belongs to once it has fallen into it. Once it's fallen into it. So, it's yours now. Alright. Alright. From this point, I think from this point, I'm gonna stop it. But, But let me just write light getting up from his chair from falling. Um um turns around. He screams around. Light screams and jumps back. Jumps back. And jumps back. Light trips on his chair and falls back. Light. We're gonna put action. What took? Oh, what am I doing? Brain. Light uses the desk to prop himself up from the ground. Light picks the Deathnote off the ground. Up off the ground and dusts it off with his hands. With his other hand. All right. So it's yours. And then action. Ryuk closes the Deathnote and tosses it to Light. Tosses it to Light. There. I think that's a better end to the whole ordeal. Ha ha ha. So, yay. So we wrote a lot today. I'm going to click File and Save. So yeah, we wrote a pretty good amount. Let me see, how far did we get? Actually got pretty good. We wrote like pretty much like 2.5 pages, which I'm not mad at. 2.5 pages is actually pretty good. So So yeah, so let's read what we have so far. So Miss Smith, late 30s, wearing a button-down shirt, capris, stands at the board with English sentences written on it. Miss Smith, I'll be passing out your tests from last week. Please look them over to see the areas you need to study more on. A hand taps Light's shoulder. Light turns around to look at Bito, late teens, wearing a high school uniform. Bito, what do you think you got? I've been really studying lately. So Light looks out the window at a creature that is perched on the roof of the building. Light squints his eyes. A hand taps his shoulder. Miss Smith, good job, Yagami. You made a lot of improvement. It's recently gotten interesting. Miss Smith walks towards Bito. Light turns around and looks out the window and the creature is gone. The door opens. Interior Light's bedroom day. The door opens. Light walks through. He closes the door behind him and sighs. He walks over to his desk. He picks up the TV remote and turns on the TV to the news. He puts down the remote and reaches over to the desk lamp chain. The light turns on as Light pulls out the desk drawer open, and I have two ands. Picks up the Deathnote. Light smiles. Ryuk, in English, you've taken a liking to it. Light quickly turns around. Light screams and jumps back. Light trips on his chair and falls back. Ryuk stands in front of him. Oh, you must not understand me. Mucho gusto, mi amo Ryuk. Yo soy Arios de Muerte. Saiko. Light, are you alright? Light, back in Japanese. I'm fine, just saw a spider. Oh, you speak in Japanese? Hi, I'm Ryuk. The Shinigami of the notebook. Light uses the desk to prop himself up from the ground. Light, what took you so long? You were expecting me? Ryuk, you were expecting me? Light picks up the Deathnote up off the ground and dusts it off with his other hand. I wasn't sure if it was real with full certainty, but with a death god right in front of me, I must ask, how will you punish me? Light gives the Deathnote to Ryuk, and Ryuk grabs it and opens it up, excitedly shocked. I've heard of Deathnotes getting down to the human realm a few times before, but no one has done this many in just 5 days. Most are too scared. Light, I'm ready for anything. I used it knowing it belonged to a Shinigami. Ryuk, is that a bit you humans do? Light, what? Ryuk, I'm not going to do anything to you. A Deathnote belongs to the human realm once it falls into it. So, it's yours. Ryuk closes the Deathnote and tosses it to Light. So, yeah. We got to page 9! We're almost done with page 9. I'm so happy. For those of you who think that this is not a lot of progress, because you're probably not following along with the Deathnote manga's like book, but or you don't hear the pages, but to give you an idea, we are like on page 20 already. We're already done with page 20 of Deathnote in the manga. We're already done with page 20. And so this already tells you, if I'm already done with pretty much page 20, that tells you we're doing like at least like 2 panels per page in a sense. And that's really generous because some parts I've actually added onto and some parts I have just decided not to add because they were frivolous and not really needed for the story. So, like, realistically, we've gotten really, really far so far. But yeah, and I'm just like, I'm so excited for where it go. I know that, like, once we get to page 24, I'm probably going to take a break from this series and do, like, another anime for a little bit because Death Note is a little bit heavy, and I would also want to have you guys choose which anime I do next to get this treatment done to. or like even a book. I don't mind doing a book that you guys like want me to do or something like that, because I would love to just mess with a book. Like, but yeah, like if you guys watch this video later on, leave it down in the comments, like, or the chat if you're on Twitch. Please leave it down in the comments what other anime or what other book you want me to do when I'm done with the Death Note pilot. Because once we get to page 24, we're done with the pilot script. So once we're done with the pilot script, like, I'm going to take a break from it. So that could be like your My Hero Academias. That could be your like, I'll take Tokyo Ghoul. I actually own a copy of Tokyo Ghoul. I could do that. I actually thought of doing like a short, because there's one particular scene that I could do it in like 10 minutes, and it would just be so cool to do as like just a fan short. And then the other thing is that I would love to check out like doing other ones that I don't even know about, or like I want to do series and mangas that have been failed, in my opinion. Like, if they've been failed by, like, take for instance, like, Host Club. I forgot the name of it, but you know what I mean by Host Club. I'm willing to do Host Club, where, like, I know some people are not happy that the series, like, realistically ended. It kind of changed the ending in the anime, so that way they can, like, wrap it up quicker, in a sense. So I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind doing, like, Human in a Demon School. Heck, I'll even take, like, Slime. I reincarnated as Slime, because that one's also fun. Like, I want to do some weird ones. Like, I would love to do, like, even the romance ones. I'll take some of the romance ones, the darker ones, like, anything. Leave it down in the comments. I will literally I'll do it for funsies. And if you feel like you want me to do, like, that in between these streams, so that way it's not, like, Death Note all the time, like, I really wouldn't mind. I would have to find a better program, so I'm going to have to test with OBS and a bunch of these filming programs to see which of these filming programs will still allow me to, like, film while script writing. Because, or if someone could leave down in the comments, how have you gotten Final Draft to film stuff? Because, like, if I could get Final Draft so that way I could film stuff, this series can be a lot easier. I'm dead serious, because I pay for, like, Final Draft, and Final Draft is a lot easier to work with. I can literally, with Final Draft, go and create beat charts and stuff like that, and I would hate to have to pay a monthly subscription just for these streams when I own a script writing software by itself. So yeah, like, Final Draft, if you could fix your system, please. I would love it. If someone can tell Final Draft to fix their system, I would love that. But I'll see you guys next time. I highly suggest, hey, subscribe if you haven't. Follow me if you want to see me on Twitch. I usually do these streams on, Monday and Tuesday, but sometimes Wednesday when things don't work out. In this case, it happened on Thursday because everything did not work out. So, like, I usually do these streams on Monday and Tuesday, and post the videos on Wednesday and Friday. So please, like, subscribe, follow. I would love that. But without further ado, bye guys.